This is video number 2 in a series of 3 videos on the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. Now, if this is the first of my videos you've seen, can I persuade you to watch video number 1 first? It should be quite easy to find. It's the same thing, the easy way to lose weight, 01, and it's called the commitment and the corollary. After which I'll see you again, about 20 minutes for this video. Video number 2, how do busy people lose weight? Now, assuming you have already seen video number 1, first of all, thank you for coming back. I'm absolutely bowled over that your curiosity has carried you through to this second video. Let's hope that same curiosity carries you through to the third and final video, which is called the numbers. But this one is how do busy people lose weight? And I've got 2 theories on that. And one of those theories keys into our first video, which was the easy way to lose weight, the commitment and the corollary. Let me just recap that video quickly, just to bring us all up to the same speed. In video 1, I explained that we don't worry about diets, we're not thinking about exercise, we're not thinking about sleep patterns or fasting or any of the other ideas that people have about how to lose weight and how to keep that weight off. As valid as those ideas may be for very, very sound physiological reasons, we're going in with a psychological approach, and as such, we want to keep it simple. And the simplicity of that is encapsulated with the 3 words, I don't snack. I.e., I only eat meals. Just meal 1, 2, and 3. I know when they're going to be, and I know how much food is in each of those meals. And that is how I lose my weight. Okay, so that was video number 1. Now, video number 1, I felt, dealt with the first of 2 causes of weight gain in the 21st century. And the first of those 2 causes, I would say is the main cause, is the dangerous environment in which we find ourselves. Throughout all our evolutionary history, we've never known where our next meal is coming from. Now we do. Oh boy, do we know where our next meal is coming from. We have so much food security that we are drowning in a sea of readily available calories. And that's now the problem. This is why half of the world's adults are now overweight. 2.5 billion individuals are overweight. That's bad. That's dangerous. But it's better than it was before, when half or more than half of us were starving. So, okay, you win some, you lose some. The second reason it's very difficult to lose weight here in the 21st century is that we all lead busy, chaotic, unpredictable lives, increasingly so. Our lives are complicated anyway. If you look at the world around us, I mean, it's a miracle it works as well as it does, but it is very complicated, very interconnected, interdependent. And one thing that has sped up that interdependence is this little computer here, the mobile phone. And we've all got one in our pocket. We all carry one around with us. And it's an incredible computer. It's an incredible communication device. It keeps us up to date with everything that's happening. It keeps us up to date with all sorts of groups, friendship groups, family, work, colleagues, customers. It keeps you on your toes. It powers FOMO, the fear of losing out. It powers envy, with everybody on their social media profiles showboating and airbrushing and manicuring their existence to give this fake existence online. And then that makes us in turn feel a little bit more wretched inside. There's the opportunity to change appointments at the last minute, to change meeting times. Now, this is good for you because you can change things at the last minute, but it's also good for everybody else who can change your plans at the last minute. And this results in incredibly busy, chaotic lives. That's not good for those of us who want to have a 3-meal day planned out. What do we do about it? Well, there's 2 options as far as I can see. There's 2 ways to cope with busy, chaotic lives and the damage that a busy, chaotic life does to your waistline. The first is to center your life around your body, around your health. Now, a lot of people do this. If you work in a gym, for instance, that's going to be very easy to do. If all your friends are into sport, if all your friends are into keep fit, if all your friends are into healthy eating, that's going to be easier to do. If your family and friends are invested emotionally and socially into living healthily, it would be so easy for you to join in. It's rare to see a really fat friend amongst a bunch of thin, physically fit, sporty types. It's rare to see that. The fat guy, if he's friends with them, will gradually lose weight and join in with the group activities. And that's good. It's good news for him. So that's one way of coping with busy, chaotic lives, to center your life around your body. But this isn't a revolution. I don't snack is the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. I am not trying to invert your life. I'm not saying you need to change your life. Turn it all upside down. Reject your old friends. Reject your old habits. That's not what this is about. I mean, you might wish to try that, and that's fine, and I wish you all the best with that. But so many of us find that so difficult. This is why currently in the UK, for example, 2/3 of adults are overweight. 1/3 of us are obese, which of course is really dangerous. So what's the second way to cope with busy, chaotic lives? Well, it is by incorporating what I mentioned in the last video, I don't snack, this simple mantra, this simple commitment. And of course, having limits on your meal sizes. This is the corollary. Don't pile your plate too high. And then you need a third ingredient, specifically aimed at the chaos that's likely to hit you on any given day. And those are your ancillary rules. These are extra rules that you create for your journey with I Don't Snack, with this simple commitment. What do those rules look like? Okay, well, what I suggest you do is invest in a notepad and a pencil and write down 2 lists. Write down how you know your life is likely to become unpredictable. Yes, I'm asking you to predict the unpredictability of your life. Write down those. You know how you live your life. You know what you like to do. You know your habits. You know your friendship circles. You know your work commitments, your family commitments. Write down how your life becomes chaotic, as much as you can predict. And then opposite each one of these items, write a new rule that will fit or help you fit around your commitment to not snack. I'll give you some examples, because all our lives are different, and all I can do is give you examples from my life. A very important time of the year for me and my family, and obviously so many people in Britain, is Christmas. Christmas Day and Boxing Day as well. So on Christmas Day, we all go to Mum's, and we all join in with the cooking of the great big turkey, and it's a big old meal, that one. And then on Boxing Day, we go around my sisters. My brother-in-law and my sister usually cook the meal for that one, and that's another big, sizable meal. So the first thing you'll notice is that blows out the corollary, don't pile your plate too high. And boy, does that blow that out of the water. We have so much food on Christmas. But you know what? It's tradition, and I like it. I don't feel bad about it. I've never felt bad about it before. I usually finish everything on my plate. I usually fill myself to bursting. I can feel the buttons popping on my shirt, but that's fine. I like that. It's part of our tradition. I don't want to let that go. Moreover, I drink during Christmas and quite often on Boxing Day, depending if I'm driving, but definitely on Christmas Day. And the drinking starts quite early. Alcohol is very calorific. I'll talk to you later about alcohol and how to handle alcohol with your ancillary rules. So I drink and we snack. We pass around the after eights or the nuts or the crisps or whatever it is. And we live a life that is highly sedentary on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. We're watching telly, we're playing cards, we're reminiscing. We're not running about the place. So for all these reasons, I don't snack and don't pile your plate too high, the corollary. They're inappropriate on Christmas Day. They don't work. They don't work on Boxing Day in my family either. So I have an ancillary rule that's very clear, and it goes like this. For Christmas Day and Boxing Day, I don't snack. I don't stick to my commitment. I don't observe the corollary. I suspend the whole thing. And I do it with impunity. I do it without a guilty conscience because it's a very clearly marked out rule. If it's not the 25th or the 26th of December, then normal rules apply. This ancillary rule will not have any effect. It's very clearly marked out. And I'm happy to do that. That's one ancillary rule. I've got a whole bunch of them. When somebody says to you, have you had one of these? Have one. See what you think. They're inviting you to try some food. Yes. But they're actually more than that. They're inviting you to join in a conversation. Now, if you say I don't snack and somebody in between meals has offered you something, you got to turn it down, haven't you? You got to go, well, no, I don't snack. But that's weird and antisocial. So maybe you could take one and go, oh, thanks, I'll have that with my next meal. You're observing the rule, I don't snack. But whilst you're taking the food you were offered, you're turning down the opportunity for a conversation. They don't want a conversation later when you remember to talk to them about it. They want to talk about it now. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not comfortable being that antisocial. I'm not comfortable being that disagreeable. So I have a rule that says when somebody offers me a sample, if I'm genuinely curious to try it, I mean, if it's calamari, I can't touch it, so I'll just leave it. But I'm curious about food. I like to talk about food. I like to talk with people. I love to chat. So I take the sample. I eat it between the meals. I snack, in other words. But it's okay because it's one of my ancillary rules. It's an exemption. The ancillary rule says when I'm offered a sample, take it if you want to. Join in the conversation. Don't take two, just take one. Now, does that rule extend to me spotting somebody eating something new and novel and me wanting to instigate the conversation myself? Well, yes, it does. It's the same dynamic. The conversation might not be instigated by someone else, but it's still so pro-social to instigate such a conversation with a friend or a family member. So yes, the sample rule, the ancillary rule around samples also extends to myself spotting something that somebody else is eating so that I can have that conversation with them. Does it extend to me just finding something with nobody else around? No, it doesn't. It's got to be based around the conversation. It's about remaining pro-social. So that's my ancillary rule, very clearly marked out. Only take one. But if you're offered, or if you think there's an opportunity for a discovery and a conversation, then join in. It's a nice little rule. It's a strange little one, but it is part of my toolkit. Let's talk about alcohol. I have a whole slew of ancillary rules around alcohol. First of all, the first rule is alcohol does not count as part of a meal. It doesn't enter my calorie count, which may sound really counterintuitive. When I count calories for each meal, when my prefrontal cortex speaks to my limbic system and says, this is meal number 2, it's 650 calories, don't exceed that, I don't include alcohol. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, there's another rule that supersedes even that, and this is a very rigid rule. I don't drink alcohol unless it's Friday night or Saturday night, specifically 6 p.m. and onwards. That's the only time I drink alcohol. Okay, so alcohol then isn't a feature for most of my meals. But when it is a feature, when it's Friday night or Saturday night, I don't think about how much I drink. Now, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a crazy guy. I don't go binge drinking. I'm in my 50s. I'm pretty mature. I know how to handle alcohol. So it's not a problem for me. Now, you may be a problem drinker, in which case I dare say that everything we're doing here perhaps won't affect you. You've probably got bigger problems. But if you're just a normal social drinker like myself, perhaps a typical Northern European, something like that would be a very good measure to instigate, a day-based restriction on alcohol. In fact, an evening allowance for alcohol, maybe for 1 or 2 days a week. So that's what I do with alcohol. But there's something else I need to explain to make alcohol fit within I don't snack and your 3 meal a day structure. And that is something I call my alcoholiday headroom. Now, in the next video, the numbers, I'm going to go into some detail explaining how you can work out exactly how fat you should be, not very, and therefore how much food you should eat for your body, for your age, height, sex, and exercise level, how much food you should eat. That includes alcohol as well, because alcohol, apart from being bad for you, bad for your liver, bad for your brain, bad for many organs, it's also very calorific. So I build in an alcoholiday headroom in my daily consumption. So my reference intake, this is the amount of calories I should be eating per day, is 2,367. That's my number. It's very dear to me. I know it off by heart, and it's very special. Now, how I break that down, I break it into 4 pieces. Meal 1, 2, and 3. So that's 240, 650, 1,000. And that leaves about 400 calories left over for my alcoholiday headroom. What am I doing with that? Well, I'm not eating it in the day. Sunday to Thursday, I don't consume those 400 calories. I save them up for the weekend. Why the weekend? Well, I drink at the weekend. Friday night and Saturday night. I also tend to eat a bit less healthily at the weekend. I don't want to be counting calories at the weekend with my main meals. So I might have a big pizza, I might go out for a curry, I might go to a barbecue. I don't really want to think too much about how many calories I'm eating while I'm out socializing and enjoying myself. I've done all that during the week, and I've built in this headroom for the weekend and a little bit left over as well, actually, for my holidays. What do I do on holiday? I drink every day, or nearly every day. Why do I do that? Well, I like my holidays. I like to let my hair down. I like to enjoy them with my family and friends. And I'm a Northern European, and we like to drink. We like to lubricate our social events with alcohol. So sue me. So that's how I handle alcohol. It's quite complicated. So there's a bit more to it than that I won't bore you with. But this is the level of detail that you will need to go into. You need to look at your life. You need to see how it typically becomes unpredictable and chaotic. Then work out some rules. Now tweak those rules as you live through them. Some of them might not work. Some of them you might not have anticipated. Can I just add one more thing? Watch out for slippery slopes. So, I don't know, you might have an ancillary rule to accommodate a demanding boss. Your boss might ask you to drop everything and work through lunch. And you may say on those days, well, I'm going to crawl the wall with hunger if I don't have something to eat. So on those days, I can go to the vending machine and have a chocolate bar. I won't have lunch, but I'll have a chocolate bar. And that's fine. That could be a workable ancillary rule. But if your boss is doing this nearly every day, you're actually entering a slippery slope where you snack. You're introducing snacking as a regular occurrence. You want to try and avoid that. You need to rework your ancillary rules around your chaos-bringing boss. So that's pretty much everything on video 2. That's how busy people lose weight with I Don't Snack and your ancillary rules. And of course, the corollary to I Don't Snack, don't pile your plate too high. I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts in the next video. This is where you work out for your body how fat you should be and how much food you should eat. It's very step by step. It's a very useful video. And even if you're not interested in I Don't Snack as an idea, even if this doesn't seem like the way for you, I really urge you to watch video number 3. It's just really good advice on how to find out your reference intake, your calorific reference intake. Everybody should know theirs. That's my belief. So that's video number 3, the numbers. Till then, take care.